how you can avoid having that happen again, where you're down points or down momentum before you even get the ball.
We've kind of realized this issue. Last week we decided, like, in the pregame locker room was a little bit different than it was in weeks before, kind of getting more focused. But we just got to take what we do in practice and just do it in the game, because we practice well, but you know, I mean, you and I both know that practice doesn't make championships. Playing well in games does.
How are your blocking assignments a little bit different when you're working with more of a, run-oriented quarterback like Joe?
Well, blocking assignments usually don't change from quarterback to quarterback, but knowing that this guy he's a sneaky 220. He doesn't look like he's 220. I mean, you've seen him run around. He's fast. But knowing that he can take a hit and maybe roll off it gives you, if you need it, which I personally don't, but if you need that extra incentive to kind of finish your block and give him that little extra push, you know that he can break one and take it for a long run.
From the defensive side, is the offense that you go against in practice every day markedly different with Joe back there as opposed to Kevin?
Yeah, Joe's been our scout quarterback every now and then. He also, when we go best on best, he has a little bit different versatility to the game. When we go as defense, we need to be more aware of that. He has that long ball ability, but he also has the ability to make something happen with his feet. So as a unit, as a defense, we are that much more in tune to our technique and how we pursue and how we break down and be able to make the tackle.
Hey, Billy, as long as you're talking about facing your offense, how come everybody knows Courtrell runs like crazy and can get deep, but each week he seems to get deep? How does he deceive folks or get behind folks? Do you have a clue as to what your defensive backs talk about when they deal with him?
You know, I don't. I personally don't. I don't know. I don't play in the back half of the defense, but I know that I believe, football mentality is a lot of DBs want to be able to. They see Courtrell as a great receiver and they want to be able to size themselves up. So I imagine that they try and press him a little harder. And Courtrell is just that much better. He's just that much better of an athlete. He's that much faster. He gets the job done.
And one thing I'd like to add with him is his study of the game is pretty elite. Last week, especially with having Joe in as a new quarterback, some of the receivers and I we all watched film together to make sure we were all on the same page. But Courtrell notices things. I mean, I don't really look at DBs, but it was cool to see him kind of look at DBs and kind of notice ways they turn their hips and stuff like that. So I think that's sort of an elite aspect he brings to his game.
What did you sense and feel as Joe completed some passes, deep balls, just from a confidence standpoint, momentum standpoint, not only for him but the entire offense?
Right. So when Joe came in, I usually watch most of the guys' highlights films from high school, and I knew he could throw the deep ball. And I was just happy to see just some balls go his way, because that first interception where Will Garrity went up to catch the ball and he just turned the wrong way and kind of got the ball knocked out of him. That was an unfortunate thing to happen to Joe. So just to have him because we all know he can make those plays, but until they happen in the game, it's hard to get a true sense of confidence, and I think he's got that coming into this game.
He seemed very confident, very decisive in what he was doing. How was he in the huddle? How did you guys kind of eyeball him?
Well, I think one of Joe's best leadership qualities that I don't even think he realizes he does is he's very calm play to play. He never really lets the last play affect him or or the situation really affect him. He knows what he goes through his reads, and he's very much a calming presence, from having a big play to even having a run that goes for not as long as we'd want it to go.
How have you handled playing two positions, not only game by game, but within the same game like you did last week?
It was pretty exciting. I mean, it's hard to see Taz go down, but it was good that because when I did play tackle, when I did play tackle back my freshman year, I was playing against that defense, so I didn't know kind of what to expect when I moved out there, so I did have that confidence going in. But it was really sad to see Taz go down.
What do you all see on film? I know you probably haven't seen much of them, but what do you see from Albany? Team, by the way, which you've never lost to.
I just one thing First thing I recognized when we came into this week, the last time we went to Albany, we played them, or went up to Albany, we played them in a tough game. They gave us all they could, and it was a triple overtime game. So I'm expecting a dogfight when we go up there. From film standpoint, their two inside guys are pretty elite. They get off blocks well. They've got really good ball get off. So our inside guys have got to, come ready to play. I think their D-line is definitely the strength of their defense, so we've got a lot to handle up front this week.
How about their offense?
Just to harp on what Coach Cheeseman said, as defense, we've been priding ourselves more and more on getting in the film room. So this week, I believe we've watched a lot more film. And as a unit, we've noticed that their receivers are very elite. Number 5, who's a freshman, like Coach Cheeseman said, he is very good. But their running back, number 24, he's a stud. He's that kind of guy. He's the guy that you look at and he sticks off the most on film. He's got great balance, great explosiveness. So as a defense, we look at them and we want to be able to hone that guy in and be able to cover the ball.
Does the Testaverde name mean anything to you?
Specifically, I mean, this probably sounds bad, but no, I've never heard that name before. But I do know, getting on film, number 14, he does have a good arm. He's got good pocket presence, and he's a pretty good quarterback. So he's going to be a challenge for us as well.